Kevin Durant and Tyler Herro getting into it on the court at Kaseya Center on February 28th has set tongues wagging across the internet, and there is word that things continued backstage, away from cameras, in an exchange that sources close to the teams have described as far from over when the whistles blew. The footage from the court is one thing, but what people are saying happened behind the scenes has taken this story to another level. So let us walk through everything that went down between KD and Herro, from the first quarter jawing, to the trash talk, to the technicals, to the post-game comments, and the backstory that connects all of it. On Saturday, February 28, 2026, the Houston Rockets traveled to South Beach for an afternoon game against the Miami Heat at Kaseya Center. The Rockets came in fighting to hold on to their third seed in a tightly contested Western Conference, sitting at 37-22 on the season. The Heat, meanwhile, were the 8th seed in the Eastern Conference, carrying a 31-29 record, but Eric Spoelstra's teams are always tough at home, where they held a 17-11 record in 2025-26. This was supposed to be a routine regular season game. Instead, it turned into the most talked about moment of the NBA weekend. The altercation took place early in the game, with 5:22 remaining in the first quarter. During a timeout, tensions rose as Durant and Herro got into a face-to-face verbal exchange. This was not a situation where two guys bumped shoulders on a play and exchanged a couple of words. No, this was a stoppage in play. The ball was dead, and these two walked toward each other. Tyler Herro and Kevin Durant were jawing for much of that first quarter. It all heated up with 5:22 left in the first quarter. After the Heat were trailing 14-4 to start, it was Herro who did not step away from the confrontation. Look at that scoreline. The Rockets were up 14-4. Houston was rolling, and yet something happened that shifted the energy of the game in a matter of seconds. At first, KD did walk away, but there was something that Herro said that made him go back. That detail is important. Durant was leaving. He was done. He had turned around. Then Herro said something that pulled him back into the confrontation. We'll get to what that something might have been in a moment, but the visual is clear in the footage. Durant was walking away and then stopped, turned around and went right at Herro. Miami's Andrew Wiggins and Houston's Josh Okogie were the first on the scene to separate their teammates. You had two guys who are not exactly the biggest names on their respective rosters, stepping in to make sure a future Hall of Famer and an all-star guard didn't get any closer. That tells you the intensity of the moment. This was not a casual exchange. Both Herro and KD were assessed technical fouls after jawing at each other. Double technicals. Both guys got tagged. In a game with playoff implications for both teams, both players picked up a tech in the first quarter because they could not stop going at each other. And here's the thing. Durant was still talking trash to Herro after play resumed. The technicals did not end it. The separation by teammates did not end it. The referees stepping in did not end it. These two continued going back and forth even after the game was back in motion. At one point, he seemed to tell Herro that the Heat wing couldn't guard him, and mocked the Heat for sending double teams at him. Now, what did Herro say to Durant? One account that went viral on social media had lip readers picking up Herro telling Durant, "You a bitch," and the clip spread across every platform within minutes. Whether that was the exact phrase or not, the body language in the footage makes it clear that whatever was said carried weight. Both players continued their trash talk throughout the game. In one play in the first half, Durant reportedly called Herro a pussy after draining a three-pointer over him. That is not a casual chirp. That is a targeted verbal jab delivered while the ball is still bouncing through the net. Durant scored on Herro and then turned around and let him know about it in the most direct terms possible. This back and forth lasted the entire first half. Durant and Herro exchanged words throughout the course of the first half. The first quarter saw the two bicker as the officiating crew had to separate them before they escalated things further. And through it all, they traded buckets. They went on to trade buckets in several segments for the remainder of the game. The footage from the court is clear. This was personal, or at the very least, it looked personal. Now, you cannot talk about this altercation without talking about the elephant in the room. And that elephant has a name: the KD files. Weeks have passed since the KD files went viral, but Kevin Durant is still being hounded by this controversy. For those of you who have been living under a rock, here's the short version of what happened. Just before the NBA All-Star Game on Sunday, February 16, 2026, allegations circulated online that the Houston Rockets star was behind a burner account, trashing his current and former teammates in group messages on X. The alleged burner account was Githire77. The unverified screenshots that circulated on social media featured direct messages, discussing a variety of topics including Devin Booker, Durant's former teammate with the Phoenix Suns, and his former coach, Frank Vogel. The messages also included commentary about the Golden State Warriors and complaints about Rockets forward Jabari Smith Jr. and big man Alperen Şengün. And the comments were not gentle disagreements. According to reports, The alleged account used language that went far beyond basketball analysis. The alleged account reportedly referred to Russell Westbrook with a derogatory nickname, made offensive comparisons involving Frank Vogel and Devin Booker, and used harsh language about current teammate Jabari Smith Jr. The alleged account also made comments regarding Durant's investment in a drone surveillance company, which drew further backlash. Durant acknowledged using burner accounts back in 2017 after mistakenly replying to a critic from his verified profile. He had talked about himself in the third person, appearing to forget to switch accounts. He later apologized, but this time, no official confirmation has linked him to the alleged account. When asked about it at practice after the All-Star break, Durant refused to give a direct answer. "I'm not here to get into Twitter nonsense," he said. That was it. No denial, no confirmation. Just a pivot away from the question. The internet predictably did not let this slide. NBA fans launched a website titled KD Files, a live tracker that catalogs every confirmed and alleged burner reference tied to Durant. An organized database, searchable and continuously updated, turned what could have been a passing controversy into something permanent. Now, why does this matter for the Herro altercation? Because of what reportedly happened during the trash talk. In the first quarter of the Rockets-Heat game, Tyler Herro had an exchange with Durant during a dead ball situation. Herro asked Durant why the two-time NBA champion was coming after him, to which KD responded that Herro can't guard. Moments later, Herro appeared to say the word burner, after which Durant walked straight up to him, leading teammates to intervene before things got worse. That is the reported trigger. Herro allegedly brought up the burner accounts, and the moment he did, Durant closed the distance and got right in his face. That aligns with the footage, where we see Durant initially walking away, then turning back when Herro said something that struck a nerve. Herro reportedly referenced Durant's past burner account controversy during their back and forth. Durant then went to respond directly. The situation escalated briefly before officials assessed double technical fouls to both players. However, it is worth noting that there was no clear audible, indicating whether Herro brought up the recent burner account controversy, as claimed by some accounts on social media. Since some of those pages are known for trolling players, it's possible Herro and Durant were just talking trash. Whether the burner account was mentioned or not, the timing of this altercation, barely 2 weeks after the KD files went viral, makes it impossible to ignore the context. Here is what makes this situation even more layered. Tyler Herro and the Houston Rockets have a history, and it did not start with Kevin Durant. Herro was at the center of a fight between the Heat and Rockets in December 2024. It is unclear if that had anything to do with this exchange, especially since Durant was not even a member of the Rockets at that point. But the pattern is there. Here's what happened back in December 2024. Rockets forward Amen Thompson threw Heat guard Tyler Herro to the floor to trigger an altercation that resulted in 6 ejections. In the closing minute of Miami's 104-100 victory over Houston, 6 ejections, that's not a minor incident. Thompson and Herro became entangled with Miami about to inbound the ball, leading 99-94 with 35 seconds left. Thompson grabbed Herro by the jersey and tossed him, with referee Mark Davis describing it as Thompson body slams Herro. That incident was physical. Thompson grabbed Herro and threw him to the ground. Players and coaches from both benches rushed onto the court. Both players were thrown out, along with Rockets guard Jalen Green, coach Ime Udoka, and assistant coach Ben Sullivan. Terry Rozier was also ejected from Miami. It took several assistant coaches, staff members, and even arena security to defuse the situation. After that game, Herro was not shy about what he thought caused it. "Guess that's what happens when someone's scoring, throwing dimes, doing the whole thing," Herro said. "I'd get mad too. That is Herro's style. He does not back down. He never has." Now fast forward to this season. Kevin Durant is a Rocket. Durant joined Houston from Phoenix in a 7-team trade last summer, the largest trade in NBA history, sending Jalen Green, Dillon Brooks, and a slew of other assets to the Suns. He then signed a 2-year, $90 million contract extension. Durant is committed to Houston. This is his team now. So when Herro and Durant got into it, it was not just two players talking trash. It was Herro facing off against the franchise player of a team he has fought, literally fought, before. It's clear Herro isn't making friends with any of the Rockets players. From Thompson to Durant, there seems to be something between Herro and the Rockets organization that keeps producing these moments. One popular Rockets fan account on social media referenced this directly, writing that Herro must be having flashbacks to when Amen Thompson put him in his place. That is the take from the Houston side. From the Miami side, the narrative is different. Herro is a competitor who does not back down from anyone, and this was just another example of that. Kevin Durant has never been one to shy away from a fight when it presents itself. Whether it's with his opponents or with his own teammates, Durant will stand his ground when challenged. And Durant, of course, has no problem getting into it with anyone. Herro is no exception, whether Durant was just coming to the defense of his new teammates or not. There is something brewing between the Heat and the Rockets. 2 games in the span of roughly 14 months, and both have produced confrontations that went viral. The real question is whether this is just competitive basketball, or if there is a genuine animosity building between these two teams. The real question is whether this beef will end today or continue. Anything can happen, as we've seen NBA players who hated each other's guts for years bury the hatchet, become teammates and make up. All of the talk surrounding this game has been about the altercation, but there was an actual basketball game played, and it was competitive from start to finish. The Rockets had a slow start. They were trailing by 4 points at the end of the first quarter. Wait, trailing? Yes. Despite jumping out to that 14-4 lead that preceded the confrontation, the Heat closed the first quarter strong. Whatever the trash talk did, it energized Miami. However, they responded well in the second quarter, scoring 24 points and taking a narrow 1-point lead into halftime. Durant's Rockets outscored the Heat 24-19 in the second quarter and entered the half with a 1-point lead at 52-51. So at halftime, despite the chaos of the first quarter, the Rockets had clawed their way into a lead. Durant was doing his thing and the team was executing on both ends. But the second half told a different story. The Heat regrouped and scored a combined 64 points in the final 2 quarters. Their offensive rhythm and defensive adjustments proved too much for Houston to handle, and they eventually lost. The Heat won 115-105, a 10-point margin of victory. In a game that was separated by 1 point at halftime, Miami ran away with it in the second half. Now let us look at the individual performances. Durant finished with 32 points, 5 rebounds, 8 assists, and 2 blocks while shooting 12-20 from the field. He also shot 2 of 8 from beyond the arc and 6 of 6 from the free throw line. That is a dominant stat line from Durant. 32 points on 60% shooting, 8 assists, 2 blocks. That is a player who was locked in. Herro, meanwhile, finished with 18 points on 8 for 12 shooting. Bam Adebayo led 7 Heat players in double figures with 24 points and 11 rebounds. That is the key stat right there. 7 Heat players in double figures. Miami won this game as a team. They spread the ball. They shared the load. And while Durant was doing everything he could individually, the Rockets as a unit could not keep up. Both teams had double-digit leads early. However, neither team had a double-digit lead in the second half until there was 1:52 left. This game was close throughout. It was a grind. The altercation in the first quarter set the tone, and neither team let up for the remaining 43 minutes. But here is what stands out. Tyler Herro said before the game, and after it, that this was intentional on his part. Not the altercation specifically, but the energy. He explained that the exchange wasn't anything serious. It was nothing crazy. I know Kev a little bit, and we were just competing. I feel like as a team, we didn't have an edge to us against Milwaukee or Philly, so I was just trying to bring a little edge to us. That is telling. Herro admitted that the Heat had played flat in their previous games against the Bucks and the 76ers, and he was looking for a way to inject energy into his team. So he picked a fight with Kevin Durant, and it worked. The Heat won by 10. With the loss, the Rockets dropped to 37-22, half a game ahead of the Denver Nuggets and Minnesota Timberwolves for the number 3 spot in the Western Conference. The Heat improved to 32-29 and are currently number 8 in the Eastern Conference. This loss matters for Houston in the standings. Half a game is not a lot of breathing room when you are competing against Denver and Minnesota for playoff seeding. The alleged burner account controversy hasn't affected Kevin Durant's production for the Houston Rockets. That is the other side of this story. Since the All-Star break, he has already produced a 35-point game and a season-high 12 assists in another, and a historic 40-point game against the Magic. Whatever is happening off the court, Durant continues to produce on it. The 32-point performance against the Heat was just the latest example. And even in the game itself, the trash talk may have done exactly what both players said it did. It brought energy. The game was competitive, both players performed, and the fans, both in the arena and watching on screens around the world, got a show. Part 5. The Aftermath. What both players said and what it means going forward. After the final buzzer, all eyes were on the post-game press conferences. The footage had already gone viral. The clips were circulating on every platform. The hot takes were flowing, and both players had to address what happened. After the loss, Durant was asked about the incident during his post-game interview. He downplayed the entire situation and made it clear there were no hard feelings. I think we both just needed a jolt of energy to start the game. You seen it. We laughed and joked right after that. I got respect for Tyler, he has respect for me. Those words are just words. That right there is Durant's version. It was nothing. It was competitive energy. They laughed afterward, no hard feelings. Move on. And it is worth noting that Durant and Herro were seen embracing each other after the game. That is not something you do with someone you are genuinely angry at. That is a sign of mutual respect. Tyler Herro also told the media that nothing personal was said, and it was just part of the competition. His comments mirrored Durant's, just competitors being competitors. He said it was nothing crazy, and that he knows KD a little bit, and they were simply competing. Even Heat star Bam Adebayo, who has been teammates with KD during the Olympics, agreed with Herro's assessment. It's competitors being competitors. It get like that when we play pickup, y'all don't just see it. Bam has played alongside Durant on Team USA. He knows the man. And in his eyes, this was nothing outside of the norm. Durant added that the only upsetting part of the exchange was receiving technical fouls, even though things didn't get physical. And that makes sense from a basketball standpoint. When you are in a tight Western Conference race, every technical foul matters. Every point matters. Getting tagged with a technical in the first quarter because of trash talk is something a veteran like Durant would want to avoid. But here is what is interesting about the bigger picture. This altercation happened against the backdrop of the KD Files controversy. Durant has been dealing with the fallout from those alleged burner account screenshots for 2 weeks. He has not confirmed or denied that the account belongs to him. His media company Boardroom reportedly laid off its entire editorial team in the wake of the controversy, which only fueled more speculation. He is the most talked about player in the NBA right now, and not because of his scoring. So when Tyler Herro allegedly drops the word burner in the middle of a game, it is not just a random taunt. It is a targeted reference to the most sensitive topic in Durant's life right now. Whether Herro actually said it or not, the fact that the narrative exists tells you everything about where Durant stands publicly in March 2026. Every opponent, every fan, every media member is going to connect the dots. Looking ahead, the Rockets will play their next game on Monday night when they visit the Washington Wizards. Durant will have to put this behind him and focus on the stretch run. He came into the night averaging 26.1 points, 5.4 rebounds, and 4.5 assists per contest, while shooting 50.8% from the field and 40.2% from three-point range in 55 games. Those are all NBA numbers. Those are numbers that remind you why the Rockets made the largest trade in NBA history to bring him to Houston. Herro and Durant aren't there yet, but there's no telling if this is a one-off or the start of something brewing. If these two teams meet in a potential playoff scenario, however unlikely given they are in different conferences, or even in another regular season matchup this year, all eyes will be on what happens between these two. Because whatever Durant says about it being just words, and whatever Herro says about it being nothing crazy, the footage tells a different story. Two players who were ready to go, two players who had to be separated, two players who kept going at each other even after the referees intervened. The NBA world reacted in the way the NBA world always does, with jokes, memes, and debates. The sports blog Dead Serious wrote that they know Durant cannot wait to get back to his incel group chats to call Tyler Herro names behind his back. A direct reference to the burner account controversy, that is where the league stands right now. Every altercation, every confrontation, every moment of intensity from Durant is going to be filtered through the lens of the KD Files. And for Tyler Herro, this is just another chapter in his book of refusing to back down. From Amen Thompson throwing him to the floor to Kevin Durant getting in his face, Herro has shown time and again that he does not care about the name on the back of the opposing jersey. He will go at anyone. And against the Rockets specifically, that tendency has produced some of the most memorable moments of the 2024-25 and 2025-26 seasons. So that is the story. The footage went viral. The trash talk was real. The technicals were issued. The game was played. And at the end of it all, both players say there is no beef. But the internet has already decided otherwise. And with the burner account controversy still hanging over Durant's head, this is not going away anytime soon. The next time these two share a court, cameras will be pointed right at them. Count on it.